For today's Free Kids cooking class, we are going to be making cheesecake parfaits. And I am just now noticing how dark my glasses are. Sorry. So I have transition lenses and I was outside. So there you go, they're dark. Okay, so we are making cheesecake parfaits and they are so easy, so delicious, and just a couple of ingredients. And this recipe is what I call a cheat recipe. Not like cheat in terms of your diet, but cheat because it is a really quick way to make something that tastes like cheesecake. Cheesecake takes a long time to make usually, and this is a great way to make it really simply so that you can get that same flavor. It's also a really fun recipe to make if you're doing like a girls' night or a little girl's birthday party or something and you want to do like a dessert bar. This is a fun one to do too. Okay, so all you need is Cool Whip. Here we go. Cream cheese, you do not need this much. I buy my cream cheese at Costco. And then vanilla, that's it. And then the rest of the ingredients are things that you get to pick based on your favorite cheesecake toppings. So we're gonna go ahead and make it. So take your whipped topping or your Cool Whip and put it in your bowl. Now this is a 1-to-1 ratio recipe. So that means 8 ounces of Cool Whip to 8 ounces of cream cheese. So this is 16 ounces of Cool Whip, so I'm just gonna be putting half of it in. I'm gonna grab a spatula. Okay, so I'm just going to guesstimate half, which is okay in this case, right? Because this is not a specific baking recipe where we have to be exactly specific. So I'm just going to put in about half of this Cool Whip. Okay, so that looks good. And then I'm going to put in 1 bar or 8 ounces of cream cheese as well. So for me, I have a big block of cream cheese and I'm gonna cut off, they're measured on here, so I know how much is 1 stick or 8 ounces. So I'm just gonna cut along that line. So I have 8 ounces of cream cheese, which is all I need. Then we can put the rest back. And then my cream cheese has been in the refrigerator. And whenever you're mixing cream cheese into a recipe or into other ingredients, you need to soften it and make it a little bit easier to mix. Otherwise it'll just be really hard to mix because it's so hard when it's cold. So for me, I'm going to take off the wrapper of my cream cheese and I'm going to take this entire block actually and I'm going to put it in my pitcher so that I can soften it in the microwave. Now I am going to cover mine because cream cheese, if it does get too hot, it will splatter a little bit, but it's nothing like butter. So I'm going to put it in the microwave for 30 seconds. Okay, so while that is in the microwave, we are going to measure our vanilla. So you just need 1 teaspoon of vanilla, so I'll grab a teaspoon. So we'll measure out 1 teaspoon and put the vanilla in. So this just adds a little bit of flavor. Now, of course, if you wanted to add a different flavor, you could. You could do a teaspoon of lemon juice if you wanted the cheesecake to have that lemony flavor. I'm gonna look at our cream cheese. Okay, so I'm just gonna test it. I'm using the knife that I used to cut, and this is actually still pretty hard. It's gonna be like, it's pretty hard. So I'm gonna move it around a little bit. We always like to move the items around or stir them when we're melting so they don't burn in certain spots. Put the cover back on and I'm gonna do about 20 seconds, maybe 25. Okay, now while that's in the microwave, we are going to get our mixer ready. So I'm gonna be using a hand mixer. Oh, I can hear it's popping, so it's done. I'm gonna get it. Okay, so it got hot enough to pop, right? So that's why I put the lid on to make sure it didn't pop all over the place and make a mess in my microwave, but we know it's soft enough now. So I'm gonna take my spatula and just put our softened cream cheese right into the bowl. Make sure we get it all in there. Have a good ratio. So if you wanted to double this recipe, because it's a 1-to-1 ratio, how much Cool Whip and how much cream cheese would you put in? Do you know? Think about that. Maybe tell the people you're with how much you would put in if you were doubling this recipe. So doubling means to make twice as much as you originally would make. we put in 8 ounces of each item for this recipe. So 8 ounces of Cool Whip and 8 ounces of cream cheese is what we put in. And 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Okay, so the answer is if you were doubling this recipe, you would put in double what we did. It's a 1-to-1 ratio. So 16 ounces of Cool Whip, 16 ounces of cream cheese, and then 2 teaspoons of vanilla. That's what you put in. Okay, so we don't need our spatula in here while we mix, but I'm gonna use my hand mixer and I'm gonna mix up these 3 ingredients until they're really well combined. This will be loud, so go ahead and mix yours while I'm doing mine. All right, so we have our completely mixed together recipe here, and that is the entire recipe. What you have now mixed in your bowl is your cheesecake mixture. So when you serve this, everyone gets their own bowl, of course, just like ice cream or anything else that you would have, and you get a scoop of cheesecake mixture, and now this is the fun part. You can top it with whatever you like on your cheesecake. So I have a few ideas here and then a few more ideas that I'll share with you. So whipped cream, of course, caramel syrup, sprinkles. Now this one's kind of fun. I have graham cracker crumbs. So you could even put these on the bottom of your cheesecake parfait, right? When you're building your bowl, you can put your graham cracker crumbs down, then your cheesecake mixture, and then your toppings to make it even more like your cheesecake has a crust. And then you can do any other toppings you like. So fruit would be really fun. Maybe maraschino cherries, because they also come with that yummy juice. You do mini M&Ms, marshmallows, chocolate chips, anything, nuts, I mean, whatever, just go crazy. So this is a really fun recipe because of the versatility, and everyone gets to put on whatever toppings they like. So I hope you had fun today. Thanks for joining the class.